On May 18th, 2023, a news bombshell shocked the world, aimed to Terren because Linus announced his hiring without informing him. Linus stepped down as CEO from Linus Media Group, Flowpin Media, and Creative Warehouse. Your first year, Terren, was very intense as we had the Great Reset done. You were also a quote-unquote a fly in the wall during that time, so I thought instead of a 1-year check, we do a 2-year check-in to gauge how well the transition is going as you've gotten your feet wet and made some changes internally. So Terren, your first question. In your first year, what did you observe from the company and what did you think you noticed?
Can I jump in for a second? Did you really not know that I was announcing your hiring?
No, because I was in a meeting at Dell and then I started getting bombarded on Messenger. It's like, hey, congratulations. I was like, what are you talking about? I said, I just saw the video. I was like, what video? And then I went onto YouTube.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then I had a very awkward conversation with my boss. I luckily had this conversation with him a few weeks ago. It's like, hey, I'm leaving. And he's like, cool. And then this is how we're going to do the transition. And all the publicity stuff before I had left was not part of the plan.
Right.
So I made a lot of apologies.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
I mean, it was good practice for all the apologizing that you'd be doing in the first first few months of the job here.
Yeah, hilarious.
He was so bad on camera in that.
Which one?
Just
all of them?
Yeah. In general, you're pretty bad on camera.
Yeah, this is my third video.
Yeah. Well, no, he's fine when we don't script him.
Yeah.
But as soon as we put a teleprompter in front of him, like...
I'm like Ron Burgundy. Basically, it's just like, F you, San Diego, or whatever the line was.
Yeah, well, Ron Burgundy had some personality, though.
He also had books that smelled like rich mahogany. And what do we have here? Does that smell like a Steam Deck?
It's all fake. Sorry, what was the question?
What did Terren notice from his first year, and what did you learn from that year?
All right, this is where he throws the previous guy under the bus. Yes, please tell me what you noticed.
The one thing I noticed, or the one thing that was super awesome about coming into a new role, is just a passion that the entire team had for the content, for the audience, and just for their work in general. Coming from, I guess, the business side of things, I think it's pretty different in terms of the approach. So it's trying to learn how to balance, all the things that really make LMG great compared to, some of the better practices that we see from the outside and learning what we can mesh.
Caring about the numbers a little.
Caring about the numbers just a little. Yeah.
doing a PowerPoint once in a while.
Yeah, and I think those are the main things, just understanding what we do well and then figuring out where we can add value, right, rather than just trying to recreate the wheel.
One of his favorite lines for the first, until now, is basically like, go away and come back when you have a spreadsheet and at least like a couple of slides to justify this. Or do the due diligence. Or what is it you always say? What's the line you always say?
Show me the numbers.
Yeah, that one.
Because that was told to me many, many times in my previous roles as well, because I wasn't always the most diligent in terms of how I was organizing things. And so that was something that was drilled into me for years and years. And so now I'm going to extend the same pain to everybody here in the nicest way
Pay
possible.
Pay it forward.
But I think that really helped me mature as somebody that has been in a business role. Well, getting things organized, really thinking through things and understanding what the numbers are telling me. It doesn't mean that, hey, we should action everything that we see inside a spreadsheet, but it's making sure that we have a perspective and we understand what we're talking about.
To be clear, it's not that we never used numbers in the past. When we did our annual budgeting, Yvonne and I would sit down and like really grind out a spreadsheet for hours. It's just that I would use a lot of way fuzzier math. Like I remember when I was first explaining to Yvonne that I didn't need to do what my uncle insisted I do, which was do a business case study or whatever, like a business viability study. Because I was like, well, I don't need to, because at this headcount, at this payroll, and at even the very most minimalist possible of sponsorship rates at the very bottom of my projection, we're over the line, and I can probably beat that. So sitting down and looking at this for any longer than that is money that I could be spending on the phone or email with sponsors or shooting videos. So it's effectively a waste of time. And I think that culture may have permeated top down to just figure out if it's probably going to be viable and then shoot your shot, because anytime you're not shooting is time that bullets are not going into your targets.
And because we came from the same place, I think I had a similar philosophy or a similar messaging when I first started at Corsair. I don't remember why I said, but then my boss turns over to me and says, hope is not a strategy.
So we went from a vibes company to a data company now.
Well, I think we have vibes and numbers now. It's a good, because we absolutely do things based on vibes, and vibes work out sometimes. Like we had that conversation recently where I called him on the WAN show and I asked what my budget was for approvals. Every executive in the company has a certain budget that they can approve up to. And he basically, what would you say? You said like, you're the owner, I don't give a fuck or something like that.
Yeah, but more politely.
Yeah, because we were live. He would have been less polite if we weren't live.
And I had a couple of drinks.
So anyway, the reason it came up was because of the firetruck. And that was obviously a $35,000 decision that I was like, let's buy a firetruck. We could probably monetize it. Like we could probably break even on this. And that worked out. So if you actually look at the numbers, and this is a huge credit to our incredible design team, the creator warehouse team, the production team, the procurement team, the business team, everyone who pulled together to bring together sponsorships, get this fire truck, get this production done, get the products developed that we used to accompany the launch of the fire truck video. So from April 1st to 8th, I think is how long we had that shirt and that water bottle for sale. Dude, we sold 3,500 thirst extinguishers. Like we bought the fire truck with just the sales of that water bottle. And then shout out to the CW team. We're going to be delivering those thirst extinguishers starting before the end of April. Is that right?
Yeah, it'll be a period where we'll be doing fulfillment, but the first shipments will be going out next week. It's not going to be 1 or 2. It's going to be hundreds.
That's incredible because we had no idea how many of these things to order. So we waited until April 1st to be like, are we going to sell 200 of these or 2,000? way more than that. But the factory was able to get it turned around. We're air shipping them over, so we take a bit of a hit on the margin, but still, free fire truck, baby.
I think that was part of Sammy's question as well, just in terms of, hey, what have you been doing? These are part of the things that, the boring things in the background from an operations perspective that we've been trying to, get the company over the hump, bring in the right people just so that we have the skill set to do things like this. Just because in the past, our lead times, I'll be the first to admit, are much longer than we would like. I think we're getting to a better place at this point where we have more sophisticated sourcing strategies just because we have the right people on board in the right places.
And I think this is the kind of thing that's like really not visible from the outside. I saw the quarterly business review for Creator Warehouse, which is what we're kind of focused on right now, but we'll talk about other stuff. And I think we were down from, our peak was over 1,000 SKUs for apparel. And I think we're down to like 500 or 600 now. So there's been some kind of course correction that we might have overcorrected. Like for a while there, you'd go on the store and there's like no apparel in stock because we'd allowed our SKU count to balloon like crazy. So we had a ton of inventory dollars tied up in like triple XL, leftover swackets in a corner somewhere that we just weren't being clean about. And then now we've cleared out a bunch of that. And I think we have something like $1 million of inbound orders coming in, but of the right stuff.
Yeah, you should probably not get to really specific numbers.
Oh.
But that's fine.
Does it matter?
Oh, probably.
Is it just because my numbers are wrong or because we don't want to tell them?
Because he goes by vibe.
Little part A, little part B.
Yeah, I don't know. Painful transparency has been probably another cultural difference.
Yeah, what was the other one where basically we signed a light NDA and then Linus starts talking about property.
Well, I didn't know about it. Nobody told me we had an NDA.
And then I had to sort of pull him aside because the other party was kind of upset. They're like, well, did you just flagrantly disregard this NDA? And it's like, no, it's just like we didn't read this before we signed it. To be clear. I didn't sign it. Somebody else signed it. It's like, yeah, that's yet another thing that we have to clean up slightly. And then that was true. Linus said, you didn't tell me this was confidential. It's like, well, I assume everything I tell you is confidential.
No.
Yeah. But we like to share. We share a lot here.
Terren, is this the job you envisioned? What changed?
There's no way. Sorry.
Is this a yes/no answer?
It can be whatever answer you want.
I think I've learned a lot. That's one of my key criteria. Wow. Nobody takes me seriously. One of my key criteria, and this is one of the bits of advice I've had for my team, my teams going on for 20 years. If you're not learning a role, I don't really think it matters what level or position you're in. It's time to start looking for a new challenge. That's not necessarily the case at Dell. Like, this is absolutely no slight to them. I was learning a lot there, but I thought that this gave me a longer runway just in terms of other things I can sink my teeth into. So from that perspective, I think it's been really good. Learned a lot about the advertising business, learned how terrible I am on film in general. so I know that I'm not going to be an influencer or content creator. Once this job may be over, but no, it's been great.